How you doing? Dracula is guaranteed to get buff. When I say guaranteed to get buff, he will get a buff. Just like I said when I said that Onslaught was guaranteed to get nerf. Same thing with Mr. Sinister when I said he was guaranteed to get nerf. So what happens when it comes to Onslaught? He got a silent nerf. When it comes to Mr. Sinister, they nerf his science regen and they nerf his damage. But when it comes to Dracula, it's not going to be a nerf. Obviously, it just means that he's going to get buffed. The only question is when. I do predict that when it comes to those whatever box they call box, whatever it is, he will be in an ascension pool. It's a matter of when. Okay, he will get buffed and he will be ascendable for money. The only problem is when it comes to his buff, it's not likely going to be great because they need to ascend him. He's going to be ascendable for money. That's the only downfall when it comes to his buff. So, like I said, he's guaranteed to get buff. I'm gonna prove why he's guaranteed to get buff. I don't. Maybe not because Kabam might say like Reno can't be right all the time, so we cannot buff Dracula. But at this point, it's just inevitable that Dracula will get a buff, and we're gonna see some screenshots and some stats and some comments from YouTube why this guy needs to get buff. So we're gonna take a look at some gameplay from Allison edit when it comes to Dracula. Just to put it in perspective, Allison has an ability to make mid champions be a great champion because of her skill. Okay, she can turn nerf champions like magic into possibly one of the best mystic champions in the game because of her perfect gameplay. Okay, so if Allison cannot make Dracula good, that just means he needs to get a buff big time. So let's take a look at some gameplay or some screenshots. So this is Allison's edit with Dracula. It's a 7-star rank 4, I believe it's a SIG 200. Let's take a look at the time. 73 seconds. I kid you not. This is a 7-star rank 4, not a 5-star. This is a 7-star rank 4 SIG 200, I believe. Okay? 73 seconds. Let's just do some comparison in terms of time. This is CGR, a 4-star CGR ascended, and when it comes to 4-star CGR, you can obviously just tell by the PI itself that when it comes to Dracula, Dracula has about 5 times the attack of a 4-star ascended when it comes to comparing to a 7-star rank 4. And look at the time it took Cosmic Ghost Rider. 63 seconds. 10 seconds faster than a 7-star rank 4 Dracula. Okay, make that make sense. Okay, this is without synergies. Let's take a look at with Hela. Okay, this is with 3-star Hela. Okay, but this is with the Odin synergy. I don't know what else synergy she has, but synergies is part of the game. Okay, and a 3-star Hela or a 3-star in general has about, compared to 7-star rank 4, a 7-star rank 4 has about 12 times the attack of a 3-star. 12 times the attack. Yet look at the time, 1 minute. 13 seconds faster than a 7-star rank 4 Dracula. Okay, and this is a 3-star. Okay, and keep in mind, I know people are gonna say, well, you're using synergy. Well, synergy is part of the game, and this is only her base damage with Odin synergy, because Hela as a 3-star with plus 2000% buff duration with Odin synergy and Heimdall, she could do this fight in 30 seconds. Okay, so half of this time, if she was pretty much close to max potential ramp up against Winter Soldier health pool. Okay, let's do some more. Let's see. Let's look at some comments on YouTube. This is coming from Allison's Edit YouTube channel. 7-star Dracula is another level of not making sense. It really doesn't, because in the comics, he is so powerful. In this game, he sucks. And somebody mentioned the devs explained his nerf pre-release. From what I understand, his degen was supposed to be similar to Mr. Sinister. Okay. That's just unfortunate. So, and it requires good gameplay, so I don't understand Kabam. So if Allison cannot make Dracula good with her skill, what does that tell you? Okay. What does that tell you? Okay. Look at another comment. Why did you rank 5 him? Do you want to explore Act 3? This is talking about a 7-star rank 5. This is coming from MSD. Okay. I mean, it's become a meme. It become a joke. I'm not. This is not talking about a 4-star rank 5, which I think is too powerful for Act 3. Okay, which is probably just supposed to be designed for Act 4, and she's talking about Act 3. Okay, and then look at this guy. That guy is preparing for Dracula buff. When it comes to MSD, he is a paid Kabam paid employee. Okay, he's in Kabam's pockets, so perhaps he knows that Dracula is going to get buff. Okay. So what else? Dracula needs buff badly. I agree with that. Needs complete rework. I disagree with that. We're gonna talk about his buff when it comes to later. Okay. So this is going to be the best and broken buff concept or broken buff concept. So acknowledge him, and then rank 4 with 11 minutes on the clock. Acknowledge that he needs a buff. That is a complete burn. Okay, that is just cold. So MSD is saying acknowledge him because he soloed the Abyss Collector. Okay, but with a 7-star rank 4. And really, it doesn't even matter if it's a 7-star rank 4 or not, because it's MSD gameplay. It's unrealistic. If MSD soloed it with like 5-star Dracula, nobody would care, because it'd be like, so what? Your gameplay is unrealistic when it comes to MSD. So nobody's really gonna care. Okay, so acknowledge that he needs a buff. It's really like really just kind of burn right there. Okay, so what else? Just 1104 against Abyss Collector with a 7-star rank 4. Just to put it in perspective, a 6-star rank 3 Aegon has soloed Abyss Collector. Okay, and a third of the time. So this time is practically 3 times longer than a 6-star rank 3 Aegon, which is a complete joke. Okay, what else? Just to put it in another perspective, this is Mr. Sinister in Abyss with the damage cap. Keep in mind, there's a damage cap in Abyss, and this is not even max charge. Okay, he has 8 charges here, but he won 2 fights against Science, so technically he's only 6 charges, almost like pretty much halfway ramped. Okay, so this is not even Mr. Sinister's max potential. And look at the time, 74 seconds. Keep in mind, this is this health pool is more than 10 times of against Realm of Vengeance Winter Soldier. Okay, when it comes to Realm of Vengeance Winter Soldier, he has 547,000 health. So this is almost 11 times the health of Winter Soldier. And look at it, 73 seconds, only a second faster with against when it comes to Nick 136 against 5.7 million health, over 5.7 million health. Okay, to be fair, this is with damage mastery and boost. But when it comes to Dracula, his time is not going to be improved drastically because his degen is based on base attack only. So let's talk about how to buff Dracula. So this is going to be the best or broken buff concept when it comes to Dracula. But let's talk about how can we make him from a terrible champion to just a mid champion. Okay, not a best buff or broken buff concept, but just a mid champion. So to make him mid, all they have to do is take away 1 line from his kit. So let's look at this. Dread of the Night, Dire Generation. So in here it says, this is unaffected by ability accuracy and scale with base attack only. So if they just remove that part, not even 1 line, just part of a line, okay? If they just remove that part, scales with base attack only, this champion would be so much better. Not great, but he's gonna be from a terrible champion to a mid champion. If they remove that, he's gonna be so much better in the best game mode in MCOC, of course. Incursion, what else? What do you call that? Power shield node. What else? Flare node, because it's not going to be base attack only. Okay, with boost and damage mastery, he's gonna be so much better. Okay, let me just show you what flare node is. I know this is like a high ask comparing him to Mr. Sinister, but let's just show you when it comes to Mr. Sinister. Okay, in flare node. So I'm almost like 100%, like at least 99% sure that when it comes to Dracula's degen, it's not gonna be affected. It won't get stronger because it's base attack only. As you can see, there is flare node here, right? I think when it comes to this node, without a doubt, Mr. Sinister is the best option for this node right here. Even without the, which I'll show you again later. But look at this one. So this is with class advantage, and you're going to see how much degen Mr. Sinister is doing. And this is the nerf version, I believe, because I remember going up against Stark Spidey. I don't know if I had any cosmic boost. Okay, it was so fast. I didn't even see it. All right, let's just, it's so fast. Okay. Can we see it? All right. Come on. Where's the degen? Look at that. Over 72,000 degen per per tick. So that's over 144,000 degen per second. Okay, this is flare node. All right. And I do believe this is the nerf version because because when I was fighting against, this is class advantage as well. Well, when I was fighting against Stark Spidey, I was doing like over 83,000 damage per tick, which is about 1,000,000 damage per tick. Okay, so I don't think I had any cosmic boost, or maybe I didn't have any boost. This is with class advantage, by the way. Against Stark Spidey, I was class disadvantage. It is crazy. So this is the nerf version, I believe. So because I was doing 83,000 with against class disadvantage with Spider-Man, this is class disadvantage. But still, even the nerf version of Mr. Sinister, you could see how insane his damage is. Okay, which is pretty crazy. Okay, it's not what it used to be. Like before he got nerfed, he was doing like 1,000,000 damage from one SP1. Without any cosmic, which is with class disadvantage, but still, this is still very good. Let's go in the beginning. So this is why I think Mr. Sinister, without a doubt, the best option for this. I was using Hercules on this fight. I don't know, perhaps because he's been nerfed, but I was like looking at the Hercules fight. Why is Hercules not doing so much damage? It's because of like, oh shoot. Because as you can see, it's gifted physical resistance, and also has physical resistance up by 90%. It also has critical resistance. So when it comes to Hercules, he does physical damage. He also rely on critical resistance. But Mr. Sinister, degen, it bypasses that. Okay, so that's why when it comes to Mr. Sinister, Hercules, he wasn't doing much damage because of these nodes, physical resistant and the critical resistance, which is pretty much reduces damage to like 90%. Even though he's getting like plus 300% attack rating, his damage is reduced by 90%. So that's why he wasn't doing as much damage. I was kind of surprised at that at the beginning. But Mr. Sinister, he bypasses that. Those resistance, which is what makes him balance. Wink, wink. Okay. So really, the simplest buff. All they have to do is replace that, remove that scales with base attack only and make it modified. He's going from a terrible champion to a mid champion, and since it's going to be ascendable for money, that's just going to be like, I would be okay with that. I don't know why. That is such a low expectation, but that's just the simplest buff they can do because they have to ascend him. They cannot make him as good as Mr. Sinister because he would be broken if he was ascendable. Okay. So what else? Can we make him the best buff in MCOC? I know it's really hard to make a better buff than Mr. Sinister because you're turning into like the broken buff concept. But let's just see how can we make him the best buff when it comes to Dracula. So let's start with his ability accuracy when it comes to his signature ability. When I look at this, I could swear that I feel like when it comes to the bleed, it feels like they're missing to like they messed up on the coding, that they forgot a zero. They forgot it to add a zero or something. Like, look at this. This is a 5,279.5 when it comes to the bleed. When I look at that, it's like I could not believe that. Like, really? What is that? It really should be 52,795 bleed, okay? That's gonna be reasonable. Like 5,000, that's like almost nothing. 5,279.5 bleed? What is that? Like, it's a joke, right? And then when it comes to Dracula against What is it? At max sig, 5,279.5 attack rating for each armor break debuff he's suffering from, up to 5. I'm actually fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But they should remove the cap. Instead of up to 5, there should be no cap. So he would be a great counter for someone like Null or something. Even though Null's Legion resistant, this will make him a good counter, I believe, against Null. What else? What else? So when it comes to Dracula, strikes terror into the very souls of mortals. As an attacker, at the start of each fight, inflict a duration passive dealing 8. Oh yeah, damn it. Okay, we're using a 7-star. Oh yeah, we're gonna use a 6-star because we don't have we don't have any yeah, so it's even more. Wow, I could have, you know, when I saw this, because I thought I was looking at the 6-star and I was like, whoa, that's a joke, right? 5,279.5. I was like, yeah, that's a joke, right? And this is a 7-star rank 6. I was like, holy crap. I thought I was looking at the 6-star, to be honest, man. And I was kind of looking at this like, yeah, 52,795 if they added a 0. That seems a lot, okay? Because I was thinking this was a 6-star rank 5, but this is a 7-star rank 6, okay? So here, let's look at a 6-star. So yeah, so really, I really think they forgot to carry a 0 in the coding, man. This is just show you how incompetent they are. 2,000, basically 2,000 bleed. What is that? It's a joke, right? They really forgot to add a 0 there. This should be like 20,790 at max sig when it comes to the bleed. Okay, when it comes to the degen, okay, so 332,640, which is not bad, but look how long it takes. 666 seconds. Like what? Okay, what is that? What? So charging a heavy attack or interrupting any attack with a light attack makes the duration dire, increasing his stick rate by 666%. See, if they just remove that, it's pretty much going to make him an easier to play. Okay, it's not gonna really increase his damage. If he can play perfectly, it's almost like not gonna matter so much. Okay, but removing that line would make his gameplay so much easily. So what happened? So instead of 666 seconds, they should just make it 100 seconds. Okay, instead of, yeah, and get rid of that 666. Okay, that is pretty much the same when you think about it, without having to do the heavy attack or light attack. This will make him easier to play, much better for average player to play, easier to play. So 666 seconds or even 100 seconds, whatever. Just to put in perspective, Mr. Sinister can do this damage in 6 seconds. Okay, in 6 seconds he can do this damage. He can actually do more damage than this, because it's not base. When it comes to Mr. Sinister, it's not base attack only. So when it comes to the best game mode incursions, power shield node, as you saw earlier, flare node, he's gonna do more damage than this. Okay, because his degen is modified. Okay, so with boost and damage mastery as well. So if they just remove that line, he would be so much better. So instead of 666 seconds, it'd just be 100 seconds. Okay, compared to Mr. Sinister, who can do this in 6 seconds, in cases more than this in some certain game modes. So it's a joke. This is complete joke. They should just remove this line. Charging a heavy attack with a light attack, duration 66 seconds. What else? So here. So here, each second hit nullifies the buff in the opponent. If a fury buff is nullified, Dracula still is a fury buff with twice the potency until the end of special attack max potency. I have no problem with the I do have a problem when it comes to max potency. They should just get rid of that. There should be no damage cap when it comes to max potency. So keep in mind, we're trying to make him the best buff in MCOC, better than Mr. Sinister. All right, so what else? So when it comes to Dracula dire degen, so this is what he could make him arguably broken right here. Definitely a lot of degen. So you're gonna be spamming special 2. Okay, so when it comes to his degen, so instead of 666 seconds, it'll be 100 seconds, but you're gonna remove that charging heavy attack. All right, and it's gonna be modified, not base attack only. So plus 1200% degen. So we could see this doing a lot of damage. I think maybe not, but I think it could do a lot of damage. What else? When it comes to the bleed, it says six. Yeah, I kid you not, 6,760 when it comes to the special 3 bleed. Like what? Okay, so it could increase by up to 1260 base potency when he's below 30% health. So instead of below 30% health, they should just make it 100% health. Okay, so they should just get rid of plus 1200%, 1260% base potency and put it 100% health. So this should be at the end of the attack, inflict 100,000 bleed passive for 3 seconds. If you're saying that's a lot, Mr. Sinister can do more damage than that. Okay, when it comes to the special 1 degen. Not only that, I believe there are more bleed immune champions in the game than there are robots in the game. And not only that, Mr. Sinister can inflict degen in like incursion with hacks, okay, because they're not immune to bleed technically, right? So with hacks, Mr. Sinister can inflict degen on a robot. In here, there are more champions that are bleed immune. So for this to be 100,000 damage for 3 seconds, that's reasonable, considering that Mr. Sinister can do more than that when in special 1, and this is requiring a special 3, okay? So what else? So how can we make him the best buff besides all that? When it comes to his signature ability, he should have something like, what else? Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. When it comes to his regen, this guy is supposed to be like a regen machine, okay? He should have similar regeneration close to Mr. Sinister. Okay, so instead of passive healing 0.25% of his max health per second, it should just be 1% health. Max 1% health per second. So his regen should be 4 times stronger than what you see now. Okay, because he's a regen machine. So I don't understand what the heck is that. 0.25%? A quarter of a percent per regen? It should be 1% of max health per second. Okay, he should be a regening machine. Okay. So how can we make, and then what else? So last thing, to make him the best buff in MCOC. So when it comes to Dracula, he should have a similar ability like Morbius, like his awaken ability right here. Not the whole thing, just like forget the whole, yeah, ooh, that's good. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Okay, so like this, the middle bulletin board. When it comes to Dracula, he should have just the middle. I'm okay if Dracula just had the middle bulletin board. When taking direct damage from any sword, gain a non-stacking undying passive that falls after not taking direct damage for 2 seconds. Okay, cooldown 8 seconds. Okay, so this one really is gonna make Dracula, I think, this at least the second best buff in MCOC, next to Mr. Sinister. Okay, if you think about like with Mr. Sinister with 0 charges, with 0 synergy, I think this is a better buff than Mr. Sinister. But now if you're comparing Mr. Sinister at his max potential with 10 charges, no, I still think Mr. Sinister is better. But with this ability, with the second bulletin point, when taking direct damage from any source, non-stacking undying passive falls off, non-taking direct damage for 2 seconds. If he had this ability on his kit, he would be the best buff, better than Mr. Sinister, I think, at least for majority of the people. I would still pick Mr. Sinister. Like I said, at max potential, I would rather have Mr. Sinister. So I would rather have Mr. Sinister. But how can we make him better? I think if we had the first 2 bulletin points, when the opponent is immune to personal bleed, 100% chance to inflict a rupture debuff instead of physical damage. So if we had the first 2 bulletin points, I think that's going to be very close to Mr. Sinister max potential. Now, the broken buff concept when it comes to Dracula, So a lot of people would argue that's already the broken buff concept, because making a better buff than Mr. Sinister is just really going to that broken buff concept. But to solidify it, to make him a broken buff concept, is make him ascendable. Okay. So basically an extra rank, like comparing it basically to a 7-star rank 5 Mr. Sinister versus a 7-star rank 6 Dracula. Who's gonna be better with this buff concept? I think Dracula will be better. That will be the broken buff concept, I believe. That he's so the broken buff concept is just make him ascendable. That's it, with all the buffs that I've mentioned. So this is the best and broken buff concept with Dracula. Thank you.